Meu nome é Filipe, você já apresentou. Vou falar hoje sobre um pouco da minha experiência com Git Rebase, motivo e algumas aplicações que a gente pode usar. Eu preparei a palestra para falar em inglês e aí eu vou perguntar se tem alguém aqui que fala inglês e tal, que é essa a intenção. Mas se todo mundo fala português, a gente faz português, não tem problema nenhum. So, are there any non-Portuguese speakers here? Oh. One? Ok. Então, sem inglês mesmo. Like I said, my name is Filipe. People usually call me Mondaini, my last name. I'm from Rio, Brazil. Yeah. And first time, I didn't mention, first time here in Natal, first time in the Northeast, Nordeste. Feeling very, very excited about it. I work for Concrete, a consulting company, IT consulting company, and they were recently acquired by Accenture in last year. And I've been a programmer for about 10 years or so, give or take. And aside from being a Pythonista, I consider myself a generalist. Had been working also with JavaScript, Ruby, C#, played some stuff about IoT using Arduino, MicroPython, and so on. And like many of us, I used to be scared of doing Git Rebase, but not anymore. So the very first reason I got angry about not knowing Rebase was that case. Working for a consulting company, we move from one project to another very frequently. And this is very common. And you are a new developer to a new project that is already running. And the first step, you get access to the repository, you do a git clone, you read the git log, and you see this. And how do you know the timeline of commits that your colleagues have made? How do you know how to proceed, how to find the meaningful commits you want to see? And this situation happened to me over and over and over. And whenever someone talked about Rebase, they, instead of freaking out about this, they just freaked out about how dangerous Rebase was. And before I get into Rebase, I'd like to do a recap about Git merge, because that's the way we usually do stuff. The easiest, let's begin with the fast forward merge. The easiest way is just you don't have your local repository is just outdated, and you do a git pull, and there are some commits on the remote repository, and you do a fast forward. That's the red. The most common case of merge is the non-fast forward. When you do you create a merge commit unifying the whole structure. In this case, it's kind of easy to see, but as we saw before, it can be messy. You usually don't see any major conflicts, but sometimes we have some. And this is a simple example of merging conflicts. And someone the remote repository committed hello cat, and someone else committed hello dog, and tries to do it some git push. It has a merge conflict. This is a simple example of how we solve this conflict. In this case, it's just this tiny comma and maybe some formatting here that cause the conflict, and it's an easy case. And this is a first glimpse of how Rebase can actually help ourselves on having a clearer timeline. You can see on the left here a classic merge scenario, and on the right you can see the clear timeline of commits. It's much better. And after this recap, let's talk about Rebase itself. So it's the whole point of doing it. You can actually have better documentation because the scenario I told you before. You can have a clear timeline of commits. It's easy to find the meaningful commits you want. You have much less merge commits, join stuff, and that leads to you can actually have your team can actually work on the problems instead of reading meaningless documentation talking about the repository. Another good side is to use Rebase is to do damage repairing when someone did something you don't want to do. You push some commit you don't want. You push some curse words to it. Everyone does from time to time. And fear. No, not fear. Fear is that what we don't want. Am I rushing or it's okay? This is the first case if you are not comfortable, you can actually use it. That's the git pull -- rebase. Instead of this, you can have this, just this tiny little argument, and you can configure on your git config. It's very easy to do it. I forgot actually to write the command for you, sorry. What is going on here is that when you're doing the git pull classic, you have a different commit from the local repository from the local repository to the remote repository. When you do a git pull rebase, it rewinds a bit and considers the commits from the remote repository and your local repository and get things better. And this is the favorite use for Git Rebase for me, using the interactive mode. It's very, very useful. You can try you can start using it by using this command, git rebase -i using the commit hash, or git rebase -i. And this is a tricky shortcut. You put the head and tilde and the number of commits you wanna rewind. And after running that, you get this message, this text message, and you choose, this is the commits you picked using the example I showed you before. 6 commits you rewind them. And in this word pick is actually the command you're about to run for each commit you picked. And the first command I would like to recommend you to use it is the squash. And everybody has seen it when you are writing. You're having some problems with some stuff you're dealing with, and you can only test it but after pushing to the remote repository. You do a commit like fix 2, fix 3, here we go, try again. And after all that, you manage to fix it and you wanna do a git squash. Because all of those commits are meaningless. Just 1 or 2 are meaningful for you. So the best thing to do is to join them all in one single commit, meaningful, and you can have a better explanation of what happened. In this case, I'm joining these 3 commits. And after running, the Git Rebase will show this message when you can see all of the message you are splashing. And the only difference from Git Squash for fixup is when you're doing fixup, you're suppressing those messages, and when you're doing the squash, you're displaying them. Easy. That's easy. It's just you are renaming the commits you want using reward, and you can also use the first letter and the whole word. In this case, I'm just using the letter R. You can drop the commits too using letter D or drop. And this is, I haven't actually used this one, the exact command. If you know about it and if you have a great case about using it, please let me know. But what this does is to run commands for each commit you selected for the rebase. And some of the cases I searched for was to run tests for each commit you're rebasing. You can run linters, you can execute some stuff and log it somewhere. For example, to do change logs or so on. And this is the one way you can do it. You can put the exec argument and then the command and the commit hash, and you have this case. Oh, sorry. And you have let's go back a little to explain better. Instead of having just the commits you want, you will have the commit, and you execute a command, another commit, another command, and so on. I wrote some example here on exec. For example, it's more Brazilian related. If you do git rebase -i --exec echo glória a Deus, I can actually speak it, but because I'm from Rio. you, what we're gonna do is to rewind 3 commits and exec this command. It's just an echo, but you could run any command in any shell command. Here, you're picking a commit and echoing Glória a Deus, picking another one, and so on. And after all the stuff you just set to Rebase to do, the interactive mode will actually rewind all those commits and do the rebase. And this is considered one of the downsides of rebase. I guess you can see here you can have this cities commit here, the previous one was dry, remove linha duplicada, and after the rebase, the commit hash changed to this one. And if you're not careful, you can do the things people say about not using rebase. And that leads us to the golden rule of rebase. Never rebase when you're dealing with a public branch. But what is that? Master, develop. Any public branches your colleagues are working on. Because you can, if you do a force push to a public branch, you can drop commits of your peer, you know. And you don't want that. Very often when I talk about Rebase and the fun stuff of it, I think about this sentence of Uncle Ben. Some people say about Voltaire said it, but I prefer to speak with the Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. These are my contacts. Please give me some feedback afterwards. Talking with me. This is my very first English presentation, so as you can see, I'm very nervous. Those are some of the references. I will publish this presentation on SlideShare and send the link to the Telegram channel too. And thank you guys.